and welcome to Season 2, Episode number 13 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches in Impact Wrestling history with match number 38 on our list, which is the 4-team elimination match in the World X Cup Tournament from the TNA Victory Road 2008 event held back on July the 13th of 2008. As stated, this match contained 4 teams. It contained Team TNA of Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, and Curryman, Team Japan of Masato Yoshino, Milano Collection AT, and Puma, Team Mexico of Averno, Ray Bucanero, and Ultimo Guerrero, and Team International of Doug Williams representing the UK, Tyson Dukes representing Canada, and Alex Koslov representing Russia. This match is one that I think kind of holds some kind of legacy behind it. It's a match that's always been held in very high regard. And the reason for that is the X Division, through TNA's early history was certainly a focal point. In 2007, leading into 2008, it really started to lose a lot of its focus and appeal that made it so great, and it was a frustration point for a lot of fans, myself included. It started in 2007. They had Kurt Angle with the X Division title, which, Kurt Angle, is Kurt Angle, right? But, not an X Division wrestler, and I kind of feel like that was a point where, it kind of showed that the division, maybe wasn't going to get to stand on its own legs for much longer. That continued through the end of 2007, where Team 3D of Brother Ray and Brother Devon were inserted into the X Division. They did basically a feud with the X Division with the Motor City Machine Guns of Shelley and Sabin, as well as Jay Lethal. They kind of, although it wasn't them that held the title, it was Johnny Devine who was aligned with them. But again, you had heavyweights in the X Division, with the gimmick being, that they felt the X Division was inferior to them. It did lead to, the X Division defeating them in a street fight, but again, what it took to get to that payoff was a lot of frustration and a lot of the division being, undermined and criticized and not held in the best light. So in 2003, TNA did the Super X Cup. In 2004, they did the America's X Cup. In 2005, they did another Super X Cup. And these were things that were, really well received by fans. So in 2008, to kind of, restart the X Division a little bit, TNA did the World X Cup. So there was the team from TNA, and then the Mexico, Japan, and international teams. They did a tournament on Impact. There was, some good matches throughout there. The Motor City Machine Guns versus Speed Muscle match is, again, one that's, really held in high regard. It's just being a really fun TV sprint. So when we got to this point at Victory Road, this match, it felt like a return to form for the X Division. It was fast-paced, crazy spots, and this match got 25 minutes to open the show, which again is something at the time that the X Division wasn't getting. If you watch this match in 2021, it maybe doesn't have those same feelings that come from it that it did as if you watched this at the time. But that said, it's still a really tremendously fun, fast-paced match, and what I really like about this is it's a great showcase for Masato Yoshino, who, when all is said and done, is he's going to be wrapping up his career this year, with Dragon Gate at their Kobe World Hall show in the summer. He's somebody that although he's been a main eventer in Dragon Gate, he's someone that I think overall is going to be considered a really underrated performer. He had a remarkable career, so many good matches. Maybe didn't get to do as much in the US as he really should have. He had this, kind of brief spotlight with TNA. He had, his Ring of Honor appearances, but outside of that, it just never really happened. But an absolutely phenomenal performer, and they do a great job here, highlighting him from the initial rope running, where he's so fast, right? That's his gimmick, and it comes across really, really, really well in this match, to how they would focus on him throughout. So basic story here, outside of Yoshino being a focal point, is the dominance of Team Mexico. Very early on, they get the first elimination. Averno just plants Tyson Dukes on his head with a nasty storm cradle driver, Rubik's Cube variant. It was disgusting. And they get 4 very early eliminations. I think 4 of the first 5 maybe were eliminations that came from Mexico, and it showed that this is the dominant faction in this tournament, and they're the one to fear. That said, things changed a little bit because they actually became the first team that was fully eliminated, which I thought was great. Yoshino loses his partners early on, so he's left fending for himself. They do 2 really good heat sequences on him that kind of run back to back. First with Team USA and first with Team Mexico. He manages to roll up Averno for a flash, kind of victory, an underdog win. And from there, the cracks start to form in Team Mexico, and Alex Koslov manages to submit one of them, and the Motor City Machine Guns put the other one away. And just like that, the favorites are eliminated. Alex Koslov is someone that you depending on how long you've been watching wrestling, you might not know the name. And that's a little sad because he's another person that, was a really, really great performer that, hung him up, kind of quick. He was a PWG guy at the start, so, I was familiar with him. And then, he went to New Japan and he had a great run there. Him and Rocky Romero, were the Forever Hooligans tag team. Again, if you're newer, you might know Rocky from Roppongi Vice, maybe with Trent. Maybe you don't even know that at this point, but prior to that, it was Rocky and Alex, and they had a great run in the New Japan Juniors division, the Junior Tag division. They were also Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions as well. He was just a really, really fantastic wrestler. Here, he kind of is positioned as a little bit of a heel, when he eliminates Ray Bucanero, he does so with like a low blow and uses his Red Scare, kind of like grounded Cobra Clutch submission. When he eliminates Chris Sabin, he does so with his feet on the ropes. So again, this is a match that, in hindsight is kind of nice too, because it's a performer that no longer wrestles that, comes across really well. And if you haven't seen Alex Koslov, this match is a good introduction to him. So long story short, we end up getting to a final 2 of Alex, Shelley, and Yoshino. So again, like I've mentioned, this match spotlighted Yoshino really well. Him and Alex Shelley, have this chemistry together, even though they really didn't get to wrestle a lot. They did a 6-man tag together in Ring of Honor. Masato Yoshino was kind of like a member of the embassy, again, 2 guys that I think really inspire, a lot from each other too, and just perfect opponents that I wish, we could have got to see more. I hope that before Yoshino hangs him up, maybe that's a match that we're able to see again since Alex Shelley's on a resurgence, in the 2020s. This was funny to me though, because if you asked me about this match before rewatching it, I'd be like, man, that ending with Shelley and Yoshino was killer. They just went to war for a while. It's really, really short. It reminds me of the Bret Hart Ted DiBiase ending from Survivor Series 1990 in their Survivor Series match, where again, in my head from my childhood, I'm always like, yeah, that made Bret, he went, super long with DiBiase at the end. But when you watch that match, their time together is maybe about 3 minutes. And that's what it is here too. It's not really extended, but they do a bunch of really good near falls and just show that great chemistry. Shelley ends up hitting, a Manhattan drop off the top rope and then puts Yoshino away with an air raid crash. Again, at the time, huge Alex Shelley fan, obviously. And he was somebody, as much as we like the Motor City Machine Guns, I think everybody was really hoping to see TNA do something with him. He got his big spotlight win here. He'd get a small run with the X Division title at the start of 2009. But again, as a time capsule match, this is really, really great. You've got Milano Collection AT in there too. Again, somebody that retired kind of early. So you get him, you get Alex Koslov, you get Yoshino, you get the big Shelley win, you get Curryman, which, Christopher Daniels, I don't think we're going to be seeing Curryman, anytime again. So again, just a really fun match in a bad time for the X Division that excited us all back then. It still stands on its own 2 feet as a tremendously fun contest, which is why it's an inclusion on this list. You can watch this match, of course, on Impact Plus. You can follow the account here on YouTube to never miss a video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50, the word 50 spelled out, not numerical. And please join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50.